Welcome back to Game On. Starting things off with football, we had Birregurra continue their great start to the season with a 39-point victory over Illawarra Biak. But the Saints had to overcome a string of injuries and a relentless Illawarra Biak in their clash on the weekend.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a couple injury worries. Liam Mills did suffer a knee injury, as well as skipper Darcy Collins is suspected to have done his ACL. Coach Dave McNeil said that the team is still awaiting news from scans. But the Saints got off to a flyer, 4 unanswered goals, and that remained, I think, the margin for the whole game.
Yeah, Birregurra finished the game with just one available on the bench. Lockie Bosley, he left the game with concussion-like symptoms, which is another worry for the Saints. Yeah. But Hamish Darrick, he lit up the final quarter with a goal of the year contender as well. He burst out the middle, got a 1-2, and then finished from 30 metres out. So yeah, there's a lot to like about the Saints. Lawn got the job done over the Western Eagles by 19 points, but it was a tight affair. The Eagles were within 17 points of the Dolphins at the final break before cutting the margin back down to 10 in the last quarter there. And I imagine there would have been a few nightmares of last year for the Dolphins, but they managed to get over the line.
Yeah, and Patrick Bright, he was the one who kicked the game winner for the sealer for the Dolphins to end the Eagles kind of any chance of their upset win. But Vincent said the Eagles matched up really well against his side, and obviously they did that last year as well. Where they had a pretty stunning upset win there last year. But yeah, the Dolphins were down to just 2 on the bench in the second half. Jackson Tierney hurt his shoulder, and Ruckman Cooper Mitchell suffered a groin injury.
On the Eagles side of things, forward Scott Anderson did a bit of a calf strain in the warm-up to the game, but Angus Connolly doubled up after playing a game in reserves to help out the seniors. Western Eagles coach Dan Casey said he was really proud of his team's performance on the weekend. He said, "We didn't win, but it was one of the better games I've been involved in. It was just a really good game of footy." The Imps defeated Simpson Tigers by 79 points on the weekend. Colac Imperials coach Bailey Scott said the club's newest debutant, Judd Flanagan, really showed his upside in his first outing, guys.
Yeah, the Imps seem to be really finding their groove and getting back to where we thought they would be. Scott said he was pleased with his side's ability to just put the game away early, booting 9 goals in the first half and holding the Tigers to just 1.
And yeah, the Tigers really struggled to generate any scoreboard pressure without league-leading goal kicker Nick Harding down there. He obviously suffered a hamstring injury. And Simpson coach Damien Pemberton, he said that the Cats just probably showed them up in the fitness side of things, and his side played well in patches, but they just couldn't get it done with a few key players out. Albi delivered Otway Districts a tough reality check with a crushing 128-point defeat. The Demons started promising with Cam Hapgood actually kicked the first goal of the game for the Demons, but after that goal, the Demons were really in the contest, and Albi went on to kick 25 goals to 4, so yeah, it was pretty one-sided traffic there.
Yeah, wow. Albi co-coach Dom Dare booted in 8 goals to make it, I think it's 24 in the year now, so he's trailing 1 behind Nick Harding on the goal-kicking tally on the season.
Yeah, and there was no beating around the bush for Demons coach Shane Boyington. He said his side just weren't up to it this weekend, and they were beaten all across the ground for 4 quarters, so yeah, they'll have a bit of work to do during the week.
Yep.
South Colac went about their business getting the job done over Apollo Bay by 86 points, and Ruse Livewire Bailey Mummerson, he cashed in big time, kicking 7 goals for the day.
Yeah, big time game from the 19-year-old. I think 11 shots on goal, leading to 7 goals. As you said, Coop, 4 behinds. The Ruse got rolling in the second quarter of the game, piling on 9 goals in the third quarter, just after half time to blow the margin out there.
Yeah, and South Colac coach Brad Serger said he was really pleased with how his side went about the win, and even when Apollo Bay, they did challenge them at times and challenge South's defence, so he was really pleased with the way South played.
In the netball side of things, Illawarra lost their first game of the season against Birregurra in a 44-50 result for the Saints. The Bombers took a 6-goal lead into the halftime break, but a motivating halftime talk from Saints coach Saskia Rowan really got the Birregurra going. So.
Yeah, the Saints were without Paris Murray and Caitlin Hall, but Taylor Edwards came in and stepped in. Saskia Rowan said that she thought the Saints looked a bit slow without Paris through the middle there, and there were a few stern words shared at halftime, but it paid dividends, Lou.
Yeah, a bit of an old footy rev up, Saskia said. But the Saints outscored the Bombers 27-15 after half-time, and Rowan credited the bench support for spurring on the Saints to take down the unbeaten Bombers. Lawn registered its third win of the season with a 50-63 win over the Western Eagles. The Dolphins lost the first quarter 17-16, but won each of the next three quarters on their way to a 13-goal win there, Jamie.
Yeah. And Sade Stafford, shooter for the Dolphins, outscored the Eagles' entire team on her own with 53 goals on the weekend, as the Dolphins ended their 2-game loss streak.
Yeah, Siobhan Casey, the Western Eagles coach, she said she was happy with how her side performed defensively, strong drives and good offensive rebounding. But she said the young Eagles are still laying their foundations as a team, and Lorne were just a little bit too mature and too good and got the best of them in the day. The Imps put themselves to the top of the ladder with a 29-point win over Simpson, and Imperials coach Chloe Gray said she didn't put any expectations on her side at the start of the year, but it's always nice to be sitting pretty at the top. With the only worry was Eliza Cahill. She dislocated her finger during the game, and that'll be a little bit of a one to watch for the Imps, Jamie.
Yeah, definitely. The win extended their recent run to 5 in a row now, and wing attack Poppy Holland received mentions in Best on Court. And Coach Gray said she's an absolute workhorse. She doesn't get enough praise for what she does in the court, and she's definitely one of the best wing attacks in the league.
Yeah, and the Imps for the first team to surpass 400 goals this season, so just shows how well their offense is working down there. But Simpson coach Emily Dynovan said her side had strong periods in the game, but just couldn't quite do it for long enough there.
In the Otway versus Albi game, the defending champion Swans led throughout, and they haven't lost since opening week.
And Otway District's coach Claire Robertson said that her team just got stuck on the back foot in the second half. The 7-goal difference at half time became 18, and the Swans just continued to be pretty dominant there. Yeah,
Hayley Foster just carried the scoring. She scored 39 goals from 48 attempts and was named best on court for that effort too. South Colac got up over Apollo Bay by 39 goals on the weekend, and the Roos will be hoping that sort of kick-starts their year after a little bit of a slow start. South Colac coach Kelsey Jeffrey said she was really happy with her side as they converted all their centre passes into goals in the first half, and she was also happy with Ruby Fountain.
Yeah, she said Ruby played this whole second half in wing defence and did a really good job, and she caused a lot of... she turned defence into attack for South Colac. Which was really pleasing for Jeffries. Unfortunately, on the injury side of things for South Colac, Morgan Eldridge tweaked her ankle and Janelle Monaghan hurt her knee, which has put a bit of a dampener on the win.
Yeah, and Tabitha Permazel was listed as best on court for the Developing Hawks. She was joined by fellow under-17 players in Taylor Bertrand and Chloe Howell. Hawks coach Sophie Fletcher said that despite the score, the team felt as if they had the most connection on the court in any game this season. The win streak has ended for the Colac Braves. The tie against Wildcats, the Lara Wildcats, came at a 7-7 score. And Braves president Jamie Harris said that they were dissatisfied with the result. They had the lead, but unfortunately a couple of mistakes late in the game cost them the win.
And Harris said that the boys battled hard all game, and Brendan De Lorenzo was brilliant with the bat, and he put the team in a great position. He also said it was a great game to play in. Both sides had high quality baseball throughout the day. Yeah,
Harris said Lara's pitcher Cam Forbes, he was excellent and probably the best they've faced for the year, and they just weren't really able to get him away, unfortunately.
The Braves Division 4 side had another big win, a 22-2 win against the Ballerine Bears, and 18 hits gave Colac an 8-0 record.
Yeah, the Braves scored in every inning with Scott Richards bringing in 2 RBIs. Blake South, he brought in 4 RBIs for the day. But they cashed in late, the Braves. They scored 15 runs in the final 2 innings there.
Kyle Morrissey continued his strong form on the mound, surrendering 1 hit and 2 runs over 2 innings, striking out 3 bats. Saxon Cooper came in for the save, striking out 2 Bears as well.
Now looking at the Colac Otway Rovers this weekend, the Division 1 side had a tough 1-5 loss against the Barwon Soccer Club at home. Looked as if the game got away from them early as they conceded 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, 1 in the second minute and 1 in the 9th there. James Bajani scored a consolation goal in the 87th minute, but Barwon have been a top 4 side in Division 1 since 2019. They made the finals last year as well.
Yeah, and the Rovers Division 2 side, they were more competitive this week with a 2-1 defeat against Corio Bay. Nono Costa opened up the scoring in the 39th minute, putting the Rovers ahead in the tie, but Corio got themselves back in the game with goals in the 67th and then quickly followed by a winner in the 76th minute.
Yeah, and in Division 3, the Rovers lost 2-0 against Leopold. The Rovers women's also came agonisingly close to getting their first points as a team in a narrow 1-0 loss against Geelong. 14th minute goal was the difference between the two sides on the weekend. Now for a new segment, we're calling it the Colac Herald Players of the Week, where we each pick someone from across the district, across a variety of sports, and just give them a shout out for what they managed to accomplish on the weekend. I'll start off first. My player is Saskia Rowan for her half-time rev-up against Illawarra Biak to help Birregurra come back and get the win.
I'm going with Bailey Mumberson. His performance was unreal. The 19-year-old, he kicked 7 goals. The South Colac social media page said he might have taken the greatest mark in a South Colac jumper ever. So that's pretty special praise, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm wishing Darcy Collins all the best with his, looks like a suspected ACL injury, which is obviously pretty devastating. The captain of the club, and Barry going so well, so it's going to be tough for him. But I'm sure he'll be getting into rehab and he'll be all good. Thanks for watching another episode of Game On. We'll be back next week with interleague football and netball action returning at the long weekend at Winchelsea.